Hi there, this week I'm going to be talking about administrative law as well as constitutional law. So, what is administrative law? It's a body of law that defines powers, limitations, and procedures of administrative agencies. What are agencies? They make laws more than the Congress does, and they enforce more laws than the President does, which is what they do. Congress, under Article 1, we have 7 articles. Under the first one, Congress and legislators create laws. They create laws and others fill in the gap, agencies and branches. They can't simply not have others fill in the gap because there is a gap. They don't have as many people to do that, and branches and agencies have their expertise, therefore having their own separate functions is something that works better for everybody, because if you get to do the same thing, you get to be more of an expert at something. If you get to, which is also criticized as well in the book, they say that if you do the same thing, you get cold and caring and indifferent towards it. But I would argue the opposite. I feel like the more you do something, the better you get at it, the more you see through the lies, the bullshit, if you will. So, Article 2, it is executive officials, which is the president. He enforces laws as well as executive orders. Executive orders are a form of law, but not quite. As the book said, they smell and taste like law, but they're not quite there. They also make proclamations and statements. So executive orders, are they as strong as statutes, for example? And that would be no, they're not. As long as they're not backed up by Congress. If they are backed up by Congress, then executive orders have more power. So therefore they are better when they're authorized by Congress. So Article 3, federal courts, which is the judges. The judges have power as well, but a different power. For example, the Constitution, which I will define right now. It is the supreme law of the land, which governs how the government is built, and it defines the relationship between government, and how all that works out. What are my rights? How am I supposed to behave legally, of course? That is why it is the supreme law. It is there and it's stronger than anything else. Its force, it's better than anything else. It's higher and it should be confronted to. Such laws, policies and government actions, they have to conform to it. So Article 3, federal court and judges. They adjudicate disputes and they're the final interpretation of the Constitution. They have this thing called the judicial review, which have the power to declare something as unconstitutional, which would be something humane. For example, I read from one of my other classes, someone being sentenced to death and dying from gas. They were exposed to gas and chemicals, which was deemed unconstitutional because it was an absurd punishment, and we don't want to be absurd and cruel because the Constitution says so. Therefore, that would be deemed by the judges and federal court, which are the only ones who have the final say, the Supreme Court, to what is unconstitutional, what is constitutional. That's why they have the judicial review. And how can the judges be a source of neutrality? Federal judges, for example, they're protected from political pressures through salary protection, as well as something called life tenure, which means they can hold their positions for life, no matter what, unless they resign, which makes them more unbiased to political influence, and they can't really lose their job or be replaced easily, basically. Mostly federal judges. But yeah, that is most of what we learned throughout this week. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you next week.